So guys, we got some snow, which is a pretty rare thing here in South Carolina, and there's not much of it left. What we got going on right now is got the trailer hooked on to the L5P, got it sitting there idling, warming up, and we've got the 770 over here idling, warming up as well. Yesterday off camera, I was doing some brush cutting with my Vail X Series mower on the 86, and it just blew up on me, like completely seized up, locked up, wouldn't do anything. Started putting hydraulic in the overflow on the side of it. I got out, thought maybe I had a stick or something stuck in there or a piece of wood. Nothing was between the deck and the head. Was able to turn it by hand, got back in, put it on high flow again. It started up, started cutting for like 30 seconds and locked up again, and it was seized bad. Like I put a 60-inch pry bar in it and could not get it to come loose or move an inch. So gonna go ahead and take the 770, take the bucket off of it, go grab the Vail mower, and we're gonna take it up to the Bobcat dealer. Hopefully it's still covered under warranty. I don't think it is. I bought it in March of 2023, and they said it had a year warranty on the motor, or a year total blanket warranty, and I think 3 years structural and on bearing. So I looked up the parts diagram, and it looks like there's a structural bearing underneath the motor, between the motor and the carrier for the blades, and I think that went bad and locked up. Hopefully that's all it is. Hopefully it's under warranty, but if not, hopefully it's not too expensive. I would do it myself, but that carrier is extremely heavy, and I don't know how I can support it, take the bolts out, pull it down, and then get it back up and bolt it back on. So I'm gonna let Bobcat deal with it. Let's go ahead and get in the 770, go get it, put it on the trailer. All right, where are we at? Oh, we warmed up pretty quick over here. So let's go ahead and get loaded up and get on the road. So we got a bunch of mess in the quick attach plate for this cutter. It seems to always build up there. A little bit worse maybe on the 86 than on the 770, but this will primarily be used on the 86 from now on. It just is way better with it, and handles the debris way better than the 770 where it's not getting in the engine bay. So we got a little bit of dusting still over here in the shade, but it's moving away really fast. So let's go ahead and get ourselves hooked up and get on the road, because we kind of sat around and didn't get at it too early this morning. So let's be productive. So yeah, there's a bearing right up in there between the motor and the carrier, and like I tried so hard yesterday, but I cannot budge this thing. It is locked up, so hopefully it's just that bearing, not the motor. I assume it's not the motor because when I try to hit auxiliary, it would twitch a little bit. So I'm pretty sure the motor's still trying to turn and it's good. I think it's just that bearing in between that locked up. Hopefully so. And I just realized I failed to mention this, but the new stickers and paint are on the MT100. We'll go over that in another video. All right, now to get it chained down and hit the road. So guys, got the Vail cutter, dropped it off at the Bobcat dealer, and been informed that I am out of warranty. I bought it in March of 2023, and here we are in January of 2025. Now, I know that I'm out of warranty. I know I'm out of warranty, but I have sat that thing and not used it more than I have. Like 95% of the time I've owned it, it is sat. I might have 25 hours or so on it, and the majority of what I do with it is mow broom straw in the pastures. I haven't gone out and like steadily chopped down trees. I haven't been mulching trees up. I haven't been, running it 8 hours a day on jobs. It's got 20, 25 hours on it, and to have the bearing seize up on me like that just, feels like there's a quality issue or some kind of issue going on. I don't honestly think it's something I've done because I haven't abused it. Like I said, I've used it to mow the grass in the pastures here on the farm, and I've used it, occasionally to clear out some cedars, like limb them, and take out some pine saplings, and things like that. But majority of it has been grass cutting, and again, I've maybe got 25 hours or so on it. So I understand that I'm out of the warranty, but I just feel it's a build quality issue or something with the bearing. I mean, I'm not saying that Vail makes a bad product or anything. I was super happy. I absolutely love the Mower X. I've raved about it, told plenty of people about it, recommended it to people, had no issues until yesterday when it seized up on me. And I just feel like it's some kind of manufacturing defect in the bearings or something, and I feel like it should be covered under warranty because I was informed that the bearing carrier is $1,500. And, it's a $14,000+ cutter. To have to, 2 years into it and barely any usage on it, I have to put $1,500 part in it. Just doesn't seem quite right to me. But, I understand again that it is out of warranty technically as far as time goes, but I don't know. Like I said, I just feel with as little use as I've got on it and as little hours as I've gotten on it and as little work as I've done with it. I mean, they claim up to a 10-inch tree. Not to say I'm out here cutting 10-inch trees every day. I tried like an 8-inch cedar with it, and it did it perfectly. But like, I'm not out here mulching trees 8 hours a day every day. I brush cut some pastures and, done a little bit of brush clearing stuff on the farm, personally. I mean, I might be way off base. I might be just be an idiot. Guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think based on what I've told you? Do you think maybe we should go half and half on it? I'll cover the labor. They cover the parts. Like, I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be an issue 2 years later with such low usage. But again, let me know. It'll be what it'll be. It's going to get fixed. Whether I keep it or not after the ordeal, we'll see. I've been looking at disc mulchers, and I've also thought about getting a Lofness Battle Axe drum mulcher because I ran it on the 86, like my most viewed video here on the channel, or this channel. I think it's got like 20,000 views, 25,000 views. I absolutely love that machine. That machine's great. Well, I have the machine, the head itself, but they're like $35,000, $36,000. That's still a big chunk to bite off. And if I get a rotary mulcher or disc mulcher, they're still close to that, like low 30. So if I'm spending that much money, I'd rather have the drum mulcher than a disc mulcher, unless I go somewhere like CID when they're like $22,000, $23,000. But still, that's a ton of money, especially when I just put 14 grand into that brush cutter. I mean, I just 2 years ago put it in there, but still, $14,000 plus for attachment is not a small amount of money to throw out there, in my opinion. So, not sure what we're going to get done today. I know I got to edit a YouTube video for the Mr. Subaru channel. I honestly should edit the video on assembling the Sawmill, which I do have together. There's a few little tweaks left. I actually got ready to put a log on it Monday, and I had an issue. Little manufacturing defect with the cable system for the head for the right and left adjustment. But reached out to Woodland Mills, and they are sending me a replacement. Should be here in the next couple of days. Quick, fast, in a hurry. So no complaints there on customer service is concerned. Just them, chomping at the bit to get that thing done, because Friday, which I don't know if this video will come out first or the assembly video, which it was a nightmare. Apologies in advance. I really tried to do a really good assembly video, but it was delivered on a Wednesday, and the forecast was for a ton of rain Saturday, and I didn't get to work on it Wednesday because it was delivered really late in the day. And Thursday morning I had to go do something. I can't recall what it was, but I only got on it Thursday afternoon, and I got most of the trailer frame put together, but I didn't realize how much work was honestly involved in all this. So Friday I started at like 9 a.m. and I finished at 3:30 a.m. I worked full out from 9:30 in the morning till about 7 o'clock. I ran down and got dinner to go, came back, and was out here to 3:30 a.m. It was a mess, and I was a mess, and I was a wreck. But I had it all together enough where I could throw the cover on it, because I didn't want the engine, all that stuff sitting out and getting rained on. And then we barely get any rain, of course. But had it all together, did my final tweaks on it. I still got a little bit of adjusting to do. I guess I'm too much of a perfectionist in that regard, that I'm biding my time on starting it actually milling, that I'm just tweaking everything to make sure everything's 100% perfect. But I don't think you can ever get them 100% perfect and dialed in, as far as, making sure it's completely straight, parallel, all that stuff, and all that. But I don't know. We got to do something today. It's now 2:30 in the afternoon, and all of our snow is gone. So, like I said, I need to edit a YouTube video, probably to post today by 6 o'clock. So I honestly should get started on that for the Mr. Subaru channel. So I might just end the video out here. I'm not sure if we're going to get any equipment and do anything, but if not, quick short video on my struggles with my Vail mower. And I honestly wish I'd actually thought about, starting, taking the cameras and like putting them on the 86 and video and all that. But I didn't. Kind of wish I did, so I could show that, hey, this is what I was doing when it actually locked up and failed. Like, I'm not out here cutting rocks in half and cutting metal and all that other craziness. So I don't know. Actually, we'll get out and we'll walk up, and I'll show you where I was clearing yesterday and where it happened. Because honestly, I've not done a farm tour yet. We've had this channel. I started this channel in 2018 or 2019, and I don't think I've given you a full tour around the farm. And in all honesty, me living on this farm for 37 years, I don't think I've seen every square inch of it myself. So let's go ahead. I'll take you up there and I'll show you where I was clearing, and then we'll end the video out. So while we're on our way up to where I was cutting yesterday, I can show you some updates and, a little bit of what we're planning to get doing. So this was all completely overgrown. These were fully big trees and all that. I'll put in a couple of screenshots or a couple of pictures what this looked like. This was the original fence line to the main pasture, and it completely grown up back in September, October. I cut it all down, put some new fence posts in, restrung all the barbed wire, reused some of the trees that had grown up along. And this side's a lot rougher looking. This side I basically had to completely rebuild. So got to get another gate. I actually need 2 gate panels because that one's really bent up. But this is the main pasture. Hopefully before too long we'll have cows back out here and livestock again. But this is the main pasture here. And I think it's like 37 acres if I remember right, looking on Google Maps and mapping it all out. But I was way up here where the old barn used to be and where the hogs were. So I'll show you up there where I was clearing in a second when we walk up there. It's so cold. I know if I took the 4-wheeler, I'd freeze more so than if I just walked and got some body heat up. On a positive note for today, 2 good things have happened. We're not doom and gloom about the Vail cutter, but I just got the mail, and the keys for my old Snap-on truck finally came because the tow driver forgot to leave them with me the other day. We got to talking and how things go, and just forgot them. And the second thing is I stopped at old Quick Trip to get some diesel fuel before I came back to the farm, and they've got Elota taquitos, and they were phenomenal. So 2 good things so far today. So here's where I was working the other day. I was knocking some of these lower limbs off of these cedars and mulching them on the ground and clearing this old holding pen. This will probably be the next area we work on. All of these cedars are growing up along this fence line. They need to be cut, but what I've been doing is cutting them at the height of a regular fence post for the ones that are in the ground, and then limbing up and using the rest, process them into fence post. Found this, didn't even know this was in here. Not sure if you can tell or not, but this is the old wheat head for the old John Deere combine. Didn't even know it was under here because it had grown up so bad. But yeah, we got tons of cedars in here. We got a little bit of the fence. I don't know how well you can see it. Some of the wire still in there, but you can definitely tell where the old holding pen was. We used to hem up all the cows in here anytime we needed to vaccinate or worm them, or get them ready to go to the livestock auction. It was in this area right here, this squared off pen, and right where that panel is right there, there used to be a ramp to get them into the back of the cattle trailer. Over here, some of the remnants of the hog operation. You got fences here, you got some tin roof for some of the hog buildings, some old feed trays and troughs and water troughs all through there. But yeah, I cut some grass up in here, and then mulched up some brush piles, a bunch of briars and things like that, and took some more limbs off some cedar trees. Over here, well, first over here we've got a prime example of my dad leaving stuff everywhere on the farm. That tree, that big old tree, grew through that tire, and that tire is now stuck on the root ball. But here's one of the hog buildings that has not fully collapsed, or at least one wall that's still standing. So there's 3 or 4 of these little hog buildings back here, and I'm pretty sure they're on cement slabs. The old barn was, I think, right over there. Nothing left of it. When Hurricane Hugo came through South Carolina in 1989, it picked the whole barn up and set it in our front yard with hay bales scattered everywhere. More hog stuff over there. Another big cedar right here that fell. Need to come cut this up into fence post. Found a couple of giant cedars in here the other day when I was clearing around that will be nice for milling. Here's the old ramp for the hogs to get them in the trailer. There's one of the old feeders, grain bin feeders. And we got some trough feeders down here. So lots of infrastructure in here we need to dig out that's been abandoned for a very long time. There's another one of the shelters for the hogs. Even got an old scale right here, or remnants of a scale for weighing the hogs. But yeah, this is probably the best condition one. Still has a roof on it, still has all the poles on it, and it still has covering. So, and then there's a squeeze chute right here for the hogs. See if that'll be a project sometime in the future. But yeah, I cleared all through here. As you see, we took out one little sweet gum tree right there that was like 6 inches, and mulched it up. A bunch of cedar limbs over here. Cleaned up this fence line over here. Now this is an old well, and when I say old, I mean old. My great-grandfather's farmhouse was right here. That was built around 1900, and then closer here was my great-grandfather's 2-story log cabin. I'll try to put some pictures in if I can get them onto my MacBook from my old computer. But it was built around 1830, 1840, about the time that my family settled on this property, and we've been here ever since. Now this is the old well. It is an old hand-dug, stone-lined well. Now, I don't know if I can get up here enough to show you that, but there's 3 or 4 wells on the property. This is probably the coolest one. I was always warned as a child by my dad to stay the hell away from it because I'd fall through. But let's see if you can see that. But there's the stones in there, stone-lined, hand-dug. Not sure how far down it goes. Haven't ever looked into it. Got this old hand pump on here. I really need to get this off of here because the boards across here are rotting, and I don't want this to fall into the well because it's in really good shape, and I think I could put a seal kit in it and rebuild it and reuse it. and it's really, really neat. But this is what powered, or where the water came from, for my great-great-grandfather's cabin and my great-grandfather's farmhouse. And in later years, because the house was built before they had electricity, you can see these pipes along the ground, and there's some water pressure tanks and things, and there's actually an old electric pump, one on the ground here, and one actually in the house, the little well house, and another pressure tank and more lines. So they plumbed in water into the house through these pipes way later in life, and added. So this house actually was built with no electricity and no plumbing, so they added water to it later, and they added electricity to it later. And I really hate that it's collapsed now. Over here is one of the old tractor sheds. Still has the old John Deere combine in it. This thing has not moved since 1989. When Hurricane Hugo came through, we had that field, this field, the 2 or 3 across the highway, and 2 or 3 more way back on the back side of the farm. I mean, it's over 400 acres full of corn. And this old John Deere, which I think is a 40 or a 30 series combine, so John Deere 45 combine, blew a head gasket the week before Hurricane Hugo come through, and Dad did not have enough time to put the head gasket on it. So Hugo came through, destroyed all the corn in the field. Dad parked this thing under here. I remember as a 2-year-old riding on it up here and parking it under here, and it hasn't moved since 1989 after Hurricane Hugo came through, and we never did field crop again. That was the last corn, soybean, what have you that we grew. So this side wall has come down on this little tractor shed. The roof is in pretty good condition, other than, of course, across the top of the hopper for the John Deere combine that's fallen in. The tin's pulled off. And then there's another little bay over on this side. So this is another project of about 1 billion projects I want to do on the farm, is revitalize this old tractor shed. For what? I don't know. Just to keep it from falling in. And I said over here, my great-grandfather's 2-story log cabin. I really need to get back up here and start pulling these logs out, because there's a bunch of hand-hewn logs in here, as you can see right here, big boys too. And this thing was built in 1830, 1835, somewhere around there. And I really hate to lose all the timbers in this, because I mean, these logs have got to be, 400 years old. It was built 200 years ago. The logs are probably 100, 200 years old when the trees were cut to make the cabin. So I'd love to reclaim some of that stuff and clean it up on the mill now that I have a mill, and mantle for the farmhouse, something like that. Just hate to see it rot away, So this is where I was cutting yesterday when the mower locked up on me. I was cleaning up all the grass and all this little, what do they call this stuff? It's, I forget, privet, these little privets. And they're all over the place, and a couple little cedars and things. But I cleared all of this over here. We still got snow on the ground back here. And I'd made my way through all of this here, right back to this corner, about 5:30, somewhere in there. And I was mulching some of these deadfall cedars, which they're pretty rotted. I mean, I know cedar does not rot, but they've clearly been on the ground for a while and they're punky. And so I was mulching right here, back dragging, and it just locked up on me. Now, like I said, I thought I had, a big piece of wood or something stuck between the blade carrier and the deck, but that was not the case. So looks like our bearing seized up, hopefully, and not the motor. But yeah, we got some big old cedars back here. Looks like some great stuff to mill up. And we got a dead one right there, but yeah, really nice back here. I really want to finish thinning all this out where I've got a nice wood basically to walk through, but still have a great canopy and cover overhead, and will give good protection for the cattle, because we didn't have a barn growing up after the hurricane took it out. But in the wintertime, all the cows would get down in here. If it was raining, they'd get down in the woods and bed down. So I'd like to have a nice spot prep for them, And man, it smells good out here with all that cedar freshly cut. Cedar's a good smelling tree, that is for sure. So we got this one privet we need to come back and cut and take out of here or dig out with the excavator because it is too big to use the cutter on, although I think it's kind of rotted. Looks like it's rotted and dropping limbs and everything, but yeah. So yeah, that's what I was doing when it happened. And this is, guys, this is barely the tip of the iceberg of the farm. But like I said, someday we'll go out here and do a full tour and really show you guys around. One other cool little thing is right over here, talking about the sawmill, is this old chop saw of my grandfather's or great-grandfather's, I'm assuming it's my grandfather's, right here. Now this was tractor powered, so you had a belt come off the side of a 400 series or C model Farmall international tractor, and it would spin that shaft and turn the saw blade over here. You got a spring-loaded board right here. You'd put your log this way, and you'd rock this deck back into the saw blade to cut it. And it's sat here so long that this cedar tree, that's got smacked in the face, this cedar tree grew in between the legs and has pinned this old saw out here in the woods. So one of these days I aim to cut this cedar off, hopefully without crushing this saw, and get it out of there and get it cleaned up and looking better. So I just realized I forgot to show you my great-grandfather's house, or the remnants of. And this is a fireplace in the main bedroom, if I recall correctly. I'm not sure what that appliance is there. There's an old ice box in the back where the kitchen was, because it was on the back of the house. We got a bed frame and a mattress here. I can see the coil springs. There is the chimney and the fireplace for the living room. Not sure if there's much left over there. But yeah, there's the chimney and the fireplace for the living room. The cedar tree's kind of blocking it. And then right over here are the brick front steps, and the front porch was right here. And like I said, when I was a child, this was all still standing, could walk in it. Everything was good on it, but after hurricanes and years of just sitting, nature took it back over. As you can see, all these big trees growing up around it and through it. We didn't have the money when I was a kid to renovate the house, or we would have lived in this house instead of ending up with the double wide mobile home, but we didn't have money for anything but a mobile home. So that's why we had the mobile home instead of renovating my great-grandfather's old farmhouse. So guys, yeah, it is very cold up here, and I think we're gonna end out the video now because all I've done is talked. You haven't seen me do any work. I've just been up here yammering and running my mouth. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one.